Hi, it's Art from Elfman Tactical, and I was going to show you the difference between our triggers and how they're all interchangeable parts. We made everything so that every trigger uses the same hammer springs, trigger tension springs, housings, the bushings. We have threaded bushings and non-threaded bushings. Threaded bushings are called Pro. All right, so these are the different types of triggers. This is an Elf SE trigger. This is basically our non-roller bearing trigger. All right, we have an Elf Legacy trigger. It's full roller bearing trigger with the hollow trigger shoe. And then we have the Apex trigger. This is now my favorite triggers made. They can't skip. There's more videos on that if you guys want to see why these triggers are so good. We can't go over all that. It'll take forever. Okay, and then this is basically the Apex trigger with the trigger bow that holds these aluminum shoes. You got curved and straight, red and black, that go on the SE and the Apex. But a lot of people wanted the old style shoe, so we had to make what we call the Alpha trigger. It's an Apex trigger with the Legacy style shoe on it, and they come in curved or straight. So here's the straight version. So these two triggers you can get with this trigger shoe, okay, straight or curved. All right, so those are the types of triggers that we make, and now these are all the different trigger hammer springs, okay? So you have a 47, a 45, a 43, we even make a 41. We most commonly put them together with a 43 spring. These are threaded trigger bushings, and these are standard bushings, okay? The threaded bushings are what we call Pro system, and you put the bushing in the trigger, and then you screw the screw in, and you have 4 screws from the outside, and plus the 2 that are on the bottom of the housing. This is the strongest way to put a trigger in a gun, okay? Now, these are your tension springs to set your trigger pull. So you have a 22, a 24, and a 26. These little spacers go underneath the trigger tension springs, right? So all the triggers that you can have a knob housing, a no knob housing, they are the same housing. We just add the spring and the knob to it, where normally it has a set screw that looks like this. All right. And you can change it back and forth. If you wanted to take and order the knob and the spring, you can put it in here and get rid of your set screw. You can go to your set screw. If you don't like the knob, you're not getting the amount of trigger variance in your trigger setting, or you want it to be really precise, because this has to turn a half a turn. So its clicks are half a turn in between the spaces. So you have, which is roughly a half a pound. If you set the spring on here to the edge on the knob, this top edge of the knob, it's around 3 pounds with our normal spring setup. And if you turn this all the way in, it's about 5 pounds. And the advantage to that is that you cannot crush the spring. Some people will say they can't pull their trigger because they screwed the screw in so far, it crushed the spring against the back of the trigger, and it won't pull. So we like to sell the knobs because it's just more dependable and they do not come out. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna show you that we can take any trigger and make it any way. So I'll take the housing with the knob. I'm gonna make an SE trigger. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put a spacer in it. Okay, then we're gonna take, let's say, a 24 trigger tension spring, put it in it. We take the shoe from the SE, we put it upside down. All right, we try to line it up, and we're gonna do threaded bushings. All right, so this is Pro. All right, that goes in like that. I'll set it down for a second, take the hammer. We'll go with a 43 spring. And now we just squeeze that together, slide it in the housing, take the other threaded bushing, slide it in. And now once you line it up, okay, so this is an SE trigger, FA knob with Pro. So it has the threaded bushings in it. So these screws will go in it. And this will tighten down from the outside of your gun. All right, this is the best way to put your trigger in. You have the 2 screws from the outside. You can use it with the washers, lock washers, and screw. A lot of people use just a screw. I use just the screw in the lock washer myself. I don't like how the big ones look, but some people don't want to put a mark on their gun. So you have all the different ways that you can do it. And again, you can do it to either housing, any of the triggers, all right? So that's Pro. So now we're gonna build a trigger. We're going to take the non-knob housing, so just the normal set screw, and let's build the Alpha trigger. This is my favorite trigger. It can't skip. They're really fast. You got to watch the videos on these if you don't know about them. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this little spacer, put it in. We'll take the next trigger tension spring. We're going to turn this thing upside down with the shoe. Try to line it up best you can. Now we're using regular bushings on this one. So if you don't ask for Pro, you're going to end up getting regular bushing. Okay, so we set that down, grab the hammer. We'll take a 45 spring. We'll put it around the hammer. And everything's designed so it's all the same. I don't want to have to manufacture more stuff to do every trigger. Okay, so now we put this in, line it up, try to line it up. All right, and there we go. So now that is alpha trigger. All right, now these shoes, we can take the red shoe and we'll slide it on this trigger here. So you would put it on and then you tighten it down. So you can go red or black, curved or straight. And basically any trigger can hold any housing, any bushings, any screws, any tension springs. It's all modular, it all fits together. And that's basically how our trigger system works. Thanks.